think we can start, and perhaps some other people will join us. So welcome to all you. We are really very happy to open this session, and I leave the floor to Rossella Raso that will introduce us to this first moment of our meeting.
Thank you, Rector, and welcome again to everybody. We are very happy to have you here. And to start, we would like to remind our last governance meeting we had in Pisa 2 years ago with a memory video that I kindly asked the regia to play. Thank you.
La Scuola Normale Superiore e la Scuola Sant'Anna stanno ospitando in questi giorni a Pisa un importante incontro di EELISA, European University, il network internazionale che unisce, oltre a Normale e Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna, 7 università e istituti di ricerca europei. Questa sarà l'occasione per discutere dei risultati a medio termine raggiunti ed elaborare insieme strategie per lo sviluppo successivo del network.
Finalmente in presenza. Siamo molto contenti come Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna di partecipare a questa importantissima iniziativa. La Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna ha 3 istituti di ricerca di ingegneria ed ha una classe di scienze sperimentali e di scienze sociali che insieme vogliono collaborare per l'ingegnere per il futuro. È una grande opportunità per portare avanti questa sfida a livello europeo.
Suntem împreună în EELISA 9 universități din 7 țări, cele mai bune universități capabile să ofere tinerilor educație, cercetare și inovare. Suntem cei mai buni.
Es freut uns sehr, dass diesmal zum ersten Mal Studierende teilnehmen und diskutieren. Von jeder Partneruniversität jeweils 2 Studierende. Und deren Beitrag ist ganz, ganz wichtig für den Erfolg von EELISA.
La nostra voce ha importanza. Parleremo di esperienze internazionali, di mobilità e di come sviluppare un'università più equa e inclusiva.
Putem contribui la noua definiție a viitorului inginer european și putem ajuta la întărirea conexiunilor dintre universitate și societate. EELISA este oportunitatea noastră de a fi actori cheie ai schimbării.
A szövetség célja az európai mérnök újradefiniálása, az európai távlatokat eredményező képzéseken keresztül. A társadalmi kihívásokat kezelő és a társadalomban gyökerező, szociális készségekkel is felvértezett, multidisciplináris mérnököt kinevelve.
Anche per chi come me si occupa di discipline umanistiche, EELISA è un'opportunità per inserirsi all'interno di un ambiente internazionale e interdisciplinare e per collaborare allo sviluppo di una delle nuove frontiere degli studi umanistici, le Digital Humanities, che sono fondate proprio sulla cooperazione fra tecnologie digitali e gli studi artistico-letterari e storico-filosofici.
Grâce à EELISA, la recherche européenne à ses plus hauts niveaux est capable de mettre en œuvre des programmes de formation transdisciplinaires et internationaux de très grande valeur.
EELISA è un'università europea, un esperimento per unire culture, esperienze diverse, da paesi diversi, background scientifici e culturali diversi, per creare una nuova esperienza per i nostri giovani. Studenti che avranno l'opportunità di affrontare le sfide più importanti per l'Europa con metodi nuovi, davvero multidisciplinari.
Ich freue mich, Teil der EELISA-Familie zu sein und gemeinsam mit der ganzen Community das Ingenieurwesen neu, interdisziplinär und nachhaltig zu gestalten.
In PISA, we are tackling some crucial issues for the development of the EELISA Alliance, starting with mobility, which is obviously a fundamental element of the Alliance, where the international accreditation is of paramount importance.
Hareketlilik dediğimizde farklı aktiviteler ve pedagojik yöntemler ile lisans, yüksek lisans, doktora eğitim seviyelerindeki hareketliliğin yanı sıra akademik ve akademik olmayan personelimizin hareketliliğinden bahsediyoruz.
En esta reunión estamos haciendo el ajuste fino de la definición de las capacidades técnicas, metodológicas y de soft skills que han de caracterizar el nuevo ingeniero europeo.
Incontrarci finalmente di persona ci ha dato più entusiasmo e più energia. Il meeting di Pisa è stato importante per consolidare i molti progetti che coinvolgeranno studenti e studentesse nei prossimi mesi.
EELISA, c'est l'endroit pour mettre en œuvre la pédagogie innovante et l'apprentissage par la recherche. C'est l'opportunité d'élargir notre vision de l'enseignement et partager nos pratiques vers une éducation supérieure européenne, créative, ouverte, multiculturelle et multidisciplinaire.
Bugünlerde bilim, teknoloji, mühendislik ve matematik alanlarındaki kariyerlerin daha kapsayıcı ve dengeli olmasını teşvik etmek amacıyla cinsiyet eşitliği konusunda bir bildiri imzalıyoruz. EELISA için demokrasi, çeşitlilik ve kapsayıcılık temel değerlerdir.
L'ingénieur EELISA a un rôle clé à jouer pour le futur de l'Europe, pour une société plus diverse et inclusive, une industrie forte et soutenable, des villes durables et résilientes, respectueuses de l'environnement.
To tackle the challenges ahead for humanity, higher education needs to be more connected to the society that we serve. So then, too, higher education institutions need to connect more with each other. EELISA is doing just this, creating an alliance of connected learning communities, delivering engineers for the 21st century and beyond.
Las comunidades EELISA son el espacio en el que esa conexión tiene lugar, donde los estudiantes, investigadores, organizaciones y ciudadanos y empresas se unen para intercambiar ideas y conocimiento que nos permitan abordar los retos sociales.
Hier in Pisa sind wir alle zusammengekommen, an den aktuellen Themen von EELISA weiterzuarbeiten und die nächsten Schritte für die Zukunft zu entwickeln. Es ist großartig, die vielen Perspektiven noch enger zusammenzubringen und das gemeinsame Commitment von EELISA zu spüren.
Cooperation, exchange and commitment are the building blocks of EELISA. Contributing to a more sustainable European society.
So nice to remember how we were 2 years ago, and I hope that with day's meeting, we can renew our commitment and joy to share together this work. We can pass to the passing the baton ceremony. We have a video from the FAU President, Mr. Joachim Hornegger. So I asked the regia to play the video of the President Hornegger. La regia può mandare il video del Presidente di FAU? Grazie.
Hello, my dear EELISA colleagues, dear EELISA friends. Welcome to the wonderful city of Pisa. It's great to see you all here, though I regret that I can only join you through this video message and not in person. Since our last meeting in Erlangen, so much has happened within EELISA, and it's remarkable to look back on what we have actually accomplished together. In just 1 year of EELISA Phase 2, we have made significant strides. We welcomed KNU from Ukraine as our newest partner, and together we have advanced the commitments we set out in May this year. Let me summarize. Joint degrees, moving us closer to shared academic pathways. Second, enhanced research cooperation, so driving efforts for new EU-funded projects. Third, establishing a legal entity with a detailed memorandum of understanding to guide us. And fourth, launching micro-credentials, providing valuable learning opportunities for our students. And today here in Pisa, it's time to celebrate these first successes and to reaffirm our shared goals for the future. And to truly appreciate the impact of our work, I really encourage each of you to quantify and highlight what we have specifically achieved. Numbers tell a powerful story. They show us the concrete progress we are making, and they inspire us to push even further. So let's make our results visible so we can all see the advancements we are making within our European alliance. And to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of EELISA, as chair of the EELISA Governing Board for the past 6 months, I have had the privilege of visiting several partner universities. In October, I visited Scuola Sant'Anna School Normale Superiore here in Pisa, as well as UPM, BME, and PSL in Paris. And each institution brought new inspiration and unique strengths to our alliance. A few highlights from my visit. At UPM, I was so much impressed by their pioneering work in artificial intelligence and sustainable energy. Their commitment to advancing embedded systems and sustainable technologies shows their dedication to addressing global challenges. At Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna, I was very much impressed by their research in robotics and bio-inspired systems. Their advancements in micro-robotics for medical and industrial applications are so impressive. And Scuola Normale Superiore, I gained valuable insights into quantum technology, physics, and digital humanities. And their interdisciplinary projects offer exciting collaboration opportunities. Just imagine a bachelor, master, and PhD program in quantum technology cascading across 3 EELISA locations. That would be incredible and a great idea. Well, in PSL's combination of cutting-edge research in physics and chemistry with a vibrant startup ecosystem, that actually sets a strong example of innovation and entrepreneurship. And at BME in Budapest, I had the great opportunity and the great pleasure of meeting the new Rector Sharaf Hassan, the first time, whose pioneering work in mobile programming and university industry collaboration has greatly advanced the field. BME's innovative environment, and I'm pretty much convinced, especially in engineering and informatics, is a model for all the other EELISA partners. And these visits are just the beginning, and I'm already planning future trips to all the other remaining partners. So each of our institutions brings unique strengths to EELISA, and I'm excited to learn more in the future. And building stronger bridges and measuring our impact. That's our mission. We must continue strengthening the bridges that link our universities. Here in Erlangen, we set specific goals to reinforce our alliance. At FAU, we are focused on 3 primary goals. First, mapping and connecting innovation ecosystems. So our teams have made excellent progress, and together we will drive this further. Second, creating a platform for change makers. So recently we launched 2 online courses, one led by FAU Ambassador John Besant, guiding over 100 students on their innovation journey, and another on intellectual property with the European patent expert Andrea Zeltner, engaging over 50 participants. And third, strengthening our partnership with KNU. So through the ELISA for KNU initiative, we have integrated KNU into 5 ELISA activities focusing, for example, on the renewable energy equipment or educational resources. And to support ELISA's growth and visibility, tracking our progress is essential. Metrics such as student mobility, joint teaching efforts, and staff exchanges will help us to demonstrate our impact. I also believe it's important to communicate more actively about ELISA's achievements to make our alliance even more visible and impactful within Europe, but also within the world. And as my term as a chair of the EELISA Governing Board concludes, I'm honored to pass the baton to our esteemed colleagues. Sabina Nuti, Rector of Scuola Superiore, Sant'Anna, and Luigi Ambrosio, Director of Scuola Normale Superiore. So I have a lot here for you. Though I can't be there in person, I'm delighted that Katrin and the FAU team will represent us here in Pisa. I wish you all a productive and inspiring meeting. ELISA's future is bright, and I look forward to all that we will accomplish together in the years ahead. Have fun, enjoy the meeting in Pisa, and good luck.
So it's time for our rectors to say a few words of welcome to all of you.
Yes, just a few words to welcome you all again. I think that I was just remembering with the video how we started here in Pisa, staying here, and I thought that was still the COVID period. We had all the masks on. And it's incredible because it seems so far away, and instead it was just 2 years ago. So, and I think we have done really a lot of things in these 2 years, but we still have to do a lot. And I was thinking that just adding some consideration regarding what has already said. Well, I think Europe is really in a very tough period now. And this is quite different from 2 years ago. We are a little bit squashed, I would say, at the international level. And from this point of view, I think that our responsibility is even larger now. We know that a lot is in the hands of the future generation, and we are here to work for them. I think we have to remember this every day while we are doing our work as rectors, professors, administration staff. Everybody is working to create a new Europe for our students. And this has to be, in a way, our star that we have to follow. I think that we are working on a cultural change, and we need time. So in a way, we also have to be quite patient, because we can't have everything, quickly, because we need to move slowly to have this cultural integration. And so I think this is the main goal that we have, to create the opportunity, a learning community, a learning environment to help this type of exchange. So from this point of view, I think that this meeting can do a lot in this perspective. And I hope that we will find an agreement on all the points of our agenda that are quite important. We are now starting with the 5th year of EELISA. It's a big result, I think. So I hope that these 2 days can be, a good opportunity to try to do a little piece more in our program. With Scuola Normale, and I want to thank all the administrative staff, we did our best to welcome you and to organize also some nice moment to enjoy staying together. I hope you will appreciate, and I hope that this will help to strengthen our community and our relationship and our also friendship. So thank you for being here, and I pass the floor to my colleague Luigi Ambrosio.
So, dear rectors, dear president, dear all, welcome. I think it's the second time, as we saw also in the video, that we are hosting a governing board meeting and an executive board meeting here in Pisa. And I think it is important to stress how important, pleasant and effective are these meetings in person. And first of all, I would like to thank Professor Hornegger. We just saw his video, and the Erlangen University for the excellent work done in the last few months. And he's not with us today, but as he said, he visited Pisa in October, and we had many occasions to discuss about the perspectives of the Alliance. Now Scuola Normale and Sant'Anna take this responsibility, and I think I can also express Sabina's feelings by saying that we will do our best to carry this over while our mandate is going to the end. Well, as Sabina said, it is apparent to all of us that we are moving in a quickly evolving scenario at the national, in Italy, but also in other countries, European and international level. And this clearly affects our strategic decisions. But also in more general terms, let me say the mood about international cooperation. On the other hand, I think it is pretty clear that besides the many bilateral agreements that I think all our institutions have, the European Alliance is for the moment the only one with a broader range, a broader perspective. And in this sense, we should consider this as a strategic one. And so I hope that particularly in the discussion today about the legal status, we need to find a good equilibrium point while things evolve in the member states and at the European level. Last but not least, I would like to thank Sofia and the EELISA group for really the excellent documentation done in preparation of this meeting. And I'm sure we will have a nice and fruitful day, and I leave the floor immediately to our President, Dale Martin. Thank you.
So, dear rectors, presidents, and directors, dear EELISA colleagues, the trust and cooperation we share is at the very core of EELISA. As we come together here at this governing board meeting, we personally celebrate and develop this aspiration even further. In that spirit, we're pleased to extend a warm welcome to our new rector from İTÜ, from Istanbul. Welcome, Rector Hasan Mandav. Indeed, the next time when we will be in Paris, we will meet most likely 4 to 5 new members. So I just heard that Luigi will still be there, which is very, very good, because then he can hand over this measuring stick, which he will be using until then, very much together with Sabina, I think, yeah? So, at EELISA, we are certainly facing the challenge to maintain momentum and continuity, and that simultaneously. This challenge, however, also presents us with an opportunity to reinvigorate EELISA, as the new rectors, presidents, and directors are able to build on well-established foundations of EELISA, which, it has been mentioned before, but for me it's also difficult to believe, is now entering its 5th year. Therefore, we call upon you, and in this case especially the governing board members, as we move forward, in order to realize our long-term vision and mission of transformative force, to grow from a project-based structure to an institutionalized, permanent, and sustainable alliance, we need that you and your successors commit personally to the alliance concept and its strategic objectives, and also to align, quite a challenge, to align your institutions to those goals. In that endeavor, personal presence and trustful exchanges between the members, in this case, the governing board, are essential. So thank you for being here. And please also come the next time and bring along those who will even put even more energy into this. Therefore, as we move forward, there is a need for stronger institutional integration and commitment. And I will return to the word commitment. And we therefore ask you, the members of the governing board, to provide such support, guidance, attention to the executive board. I think this is something which could be even strengthened. And the good news is that we all clearly have shared goals within the alliance. Many of our collective actions align with the goals and commitments of our partners. This is not a big surprise, but it's nice to see, and I will have the opportunity to show this relatively soon. Brief overview of our agenda. So we will start with where do we stand today and what are our shared commitments. Then we have the hot potato of legal entity. In that context, I would like to personally emphasize that commitment, substance, content, that is the thing which must bind us together. And certainly substance over form must be the rule. And then building upon such content and commitment, we can jointly explore avenues to create a meaningful legal entity with its practical and political implications. Then we go on with EELISA joint education, and last but not least, connecting communities with engaged research and innovation. And as the next decisive milestone in the life of this alliance, the midterm assessment is coming up within less than a year. We need even fresh energies and renewed commitment to get that done in quality, as we also managed the last time. So we also knew that quite a bit of effort had to go into this, so we're preparing for that now. It has been mentioned that, and we saw it, thank you very much, that 2.5 years ago we were here in Pisa, and at the time I verbally painted an image of EELISA as a large tree. And that vision and those aims have not changed. And at the executive board there was also mentioned about student involvement. So, first of all, our tree has a strong trunk. the educators, the researchers, staff, administrators. They carry most of the work within the Alliance, and thus they need to feel involved, supported, and appreciated. Our EELISA tree now has at least 10 deep roots and 10 growing branches, the work packages. And most importantly, our tree has many leaves growing, who are, yes, the students. The trunk, the major branches and their many twigs, not only support the leaves, but they also carry the vital energy and inspiration to the individual students' leaves. Over the past years, we have been focusing primarily on the tree itself, on its roots and branches. With the EELISA office, or EELISA Central Office as we now call it, tying many loose things together. Going forward, it is important to put more focus on our leaves, on our students, and the blossoms. Those are the communities. Because ultimately, we as a European university are here for the students. And the challenge remains, what can we do jointly and in the individual institutions in order to spread the good news that EELISA is here for them, the students, researchers, and staff. And what can we do better, has also been mentioned by President Hornegger, that this good news reaches many students as well as the other colleagues. And it has been mentioned that we should measure. That is good, because with that we can see, but we should also feel the progress. See and feel. So, toward this noble aim, which we luckily share, I encourage us to have energetic persistence, as I call it. And in conclusion, I should like to express the appreciation for the EELISA Central Office, the many local office teams, which we have now, the hub and spoke. That is a new element which gives us more energy. Of course, the work package members and the many, many other EELISA colleagues. And we thank them for motivating themselves, as well as motivating many others. And that is very important, because we all know motivation is not a given. Motivation requires constant re-energizing. And with this, building bridges, bridging boundaries, connecting communities, EELISA.
Thank you. And now we have to approve the minutes. I think that you received them by mail. Somebody has something to say about these minutes? Are they okay for everybody? So we can say that they are approved. Okay, Rossella, I obeyed Rossella. Everything is fine in this. So now it's the moment to give the floor to Professor Arianna Menciassi. She is full professor of biorobotics here in Sant'Anna. She is one of our best researchers, and she's also my vice rector, so she works with me also in the role of managing the school. And so thank you for being here and accepting to give this lecture to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody, and thanks to Sabine and Luigi also for giving me this opportunity of this introductory speech. So the topic that, frankly speaking, was suggested by Rossella. She told me, okay, we have to discuss around the topic of education of young researchers for future global challenges. And so this gave to me also the opportunity to think about my way of educating young students and which is the, let's say, fil rouge behind. So which education models for young researchers? I'd like to start from a couple of examples of, let's say, organizational research or education model. The first one is the combination of quadrants. This is a way of representing research depending on the relevance for the advancement of knowledge. So in the top left part, there is the board quadrant, pure basic research. Or relevance for immediate application, there is the Edison quadrant for pure applied research. And in the top part, on the left, there is the use-inspired research. It goes without saying that you can do very good, high-quality research in all the quadrants. But let's say this is a way for scoring, let's say, research. Another example that maybe you already know quite well, but I am also a coordinator of a PhD program, so I am using this illustrated guide to a PhD when I open my course. And this is not coming from me, this is coming from my more than 10 years ago. This is the illustrated guide to become a PhD student and finally to obtain the PhD. So there is a circle that contains all of the human knowledge. And when you finish the elementary school, so the very first level, you know a little bit more. That is the center of this circumference. Then you finish the high school and you know a bit more again, so the green circle. And with a bachelor degree, you gain a specialty, so you have a small dent, that is in the orange or, let's say, red part. Then you obtain a master degree, and you deep your specialty. And you start reading research papers, and so you touch the edge of the human knowledge. The dent is touching the circumference. At this point, once you are at the boundary, you start to focus. Focus many years, normally 3-4 years. You push the boundary for 3-4 years. And at a certain point, one day, the boundary gives away, and that dent that you have made is called a PhD. So, and if you look around you, the world is different. You are in the black part, and behind you have the specialty. The red part is the specialty where you come from. But you have not to forget the bigger picture, because you are a very small dent in the large circle. And this is the end of the story, but normally I conclude my introduction to PhD student with some lesson learned. So enabling solution can come from the rest of the circumference, don't forget. So it's important to be specialized, but don't forget the rest of the circle. The rest of the circle, of the circumference, can change priorities also in your specific research field, because it happens that there are different priorities around you. And communicating, I would like to add in a generous way your ideas, your results can make your dent longer or larger, or simply with more impact. Okay, so after this short introduction, which education models for young researchers addressing future global challenges? It's difficult to give an answer because global challenges are very variegated, very diverse, and they are just some example: climate change, cybersecurity, space exploration, food emergency. But let's say that it's difficult to make a sort of organization of the global challenges depending on the specialties. They are not organized in what in Italy we have settori scientifici disciplinari, that are very specific sector and very specific disciplines. So the education model should push people to think big and building cathedrals. And why cathedrals? Because a cathedral is also in the literature is a metaphor about dreaming of the future. And we are in Tuscany, so there are many cathedrals. I would like to tell a story about one cathedral. That is the cathedral in Florence, Santa Maria del Fiore. And it is the story about how to build the dome of this cathedral. So when the base was created in the Renaissance, there was no idea to build the dome. And so at the time, there was this Arte della Lana, it was an organization, let's say, that launched a call for ideas. A call for ideas for erecting the church dome. And there were many important competitors at the time. Two of them are represented here, Ghiberti and Brunelleschi. So let's consider that in those years, none of the techniques used up to that time would have allowed to build the dome. So really, it was a risky and not well-defined. It was a sort of ill-posed problem. At a certain point, after 2 years from the competition, in 1420, the work was assigned to Filippo Brunelleschi. And it's strange to think that he was a fantastic goldsmith, watchmaker, but let's say without any formal preparation in architecture or any experience in construction. He was very intelligent, very smart, we would say today, and with a knowledge of the ancient architecture, and he was able to think big, and to present a risky and convincing project. And now we have the Dome of Santa Maria del Fiore, and it is considered a sort of symbol of the Renaissance. And I was happy to start with this story because also in EELISA we have this idea of the new model of engineer with a sort of attitude toward Renaissance. So creativity, innovation, and also solid competence. Okay, so to think big and to building cathedrals. So, and why educating to think big again and to build cathedral that in principle are not useful for doing something. In principle, they are beautiful, they are iconic, but they have not an immediate use in a sense. So, educating to think big for addressing future global challenges, because addressing future global challenges require a comprehensive approach. So, not just one discipline. We mentioned it already. Addressing future global challenges requires to dream, but also to translate this dream into credible and solid technological solution. And this is another piece of story that we will explore in 1 minute. And addressing global challenges require also to have a global mindset. A global mindset means a mindset that is aware of the global challenges that is addressed. And I like another story, the story of two workers peeling up bricks along a road, and there is a traveler passing by and asking about what you're doing. One replies, I am collecting bricks. The other exclaim, I am raising a cathedral. So again, maybe this is a little bit, wow, very positive, but why not? We should educate our young generation to plant dates, even if they will not harvest dates. So there are projects that have not an immediate result, but you have to think big for the progress of science and technology and so on. Okay. But I have just mentioned that you have not only to dream, but also to dream with also solid competence. Because dreaming without solid competence, without any technology behind, is not enough. And in fact, predicting the future without any idea of the evolution of technology is not easy. This is a part of the movie coming from Blade Runner. And in Blade Runner, there is a future where there are fantastic things that you cannot see even now. So there are flying cars. On the other hand, to place a phone call, you have to go to a phone booth. That now it seems stupid. So we have no flying cars, but we have mobile for everything. But again, predicting the future technology is not easy. And which is the take-home message from this consideration? That we have to blend the Pasteur quadrants and to combine specialization and global vision. Take inspiration from the previous celebration, we have to build bridges between the different quadrants. And again, in consideration of the example of the cabin booth for placing a phone call, I would like to illustrate briefly this slide that was coming from Nokia some years ago, and it is illustrating the interchange between theory and algorithms, that is the basic science, let's say, and technology and application. The slide is a little bit crowded, but it's interesting because it demonstrates that thanks to novel theory and algorithms, it was possible to generate innovation and different application also of interest for Nokia. And it's true also the opposite. Thanks to some innovation in the technology, you can advance science. And there are many examples like that. So there's Nobel Prize winner in physics in 2014 are responsible of what we see today in terms of LED and illumination. So basic science contributing to this technological evolution that we have under our eyes every day. The same for graphene. So nowadays there are many results, many technology, also very large European flagship about graphene. And this is thanks to the groundbreaking experiments regarding this two-dimensional material graphene. And the same we can say for the lithium-ion batteries. Especially for me, working in the field of biomedical robotics and also implantable system, lithium-ion batteries are a real revolution in the portable electronics and not only in the portable electronics. And okay, last but not least, the example of the sandwich transistor. And it is thanks to the seminal work of this Nobel Prize in Physics in 1956 that we have now computer, CMOS, robots, humanoids, and so on. And transistors have really transformed all the world of electronics and computers, robotics. And if we are in the digital age, it is also thanks to this science and technology. And I have just mentioned that I am working in the field of biomedical robotics, and so I am very fascinated by the science-based engineering behind the audition and vision sensor and prosthesis. So there were some very relevant studies on the mechanics of the inner ear, very basic studies and scientific discoveries on the physiology and chemistry of the eye. And so now we have both consumer electronic solutions, such as the camera, and also prostheses at the level of ear and vision that are really disruptive. So the contribution of different quadrants, the contribution of different quadrants can be seen also in the building of what is my main topic of activities, that is biorobotics. So biorobotics and bionics, it's a discipline where we have a contribution from basic science, such as biology, neuroscience, material science, but also real devices, such as robots for biomedical application, even if they are not bio or bionics, but just simple robots for helping people. And I want to present just a couple of examples of the contribution of different needs and different disciplines to generate a biorobotic device or a biorobotic innovation. So let's consider the problem of endoscopy. So in endoscopy, you have to insert a tube inside the human body. The tube is flexible but quite rigid, so you have to solve many problems related to difficult maneuverability, pain, and so on. While you observe that in nature there are animals that are fantastic in moving in a structured environment, such as worms. And so why not studying the locomotion of worms in terms of biology to understand why they are so fantastic in locomotion? And so you start with understanding the worm motion from the biological viewpoint, from the biomechanical viewpoint, and trying to replicate this worm locomotion. Yes, the real worm is the yellow one. I think it's easy to distinguish. And thanks to this contamination between the medical need and the science, the biology, you can build a robot that is able to locomote inside the human bowel, and this is a product that is now under development and testing by companies, so it's innovation. And now, for me as a scientist, I am back to biology again, so why not doing something better? And we are studying now, from the biological viewpoint, a different worm that is called sipuncula, but this is just a detail, to mimic the adaptation and plasticity of this worm and to develop additional machines much better and working at different scale, much better than the previous one. And there are many examples in biology that, and there are, and there are many examples, another one? The octopus is, okay, thank you. And there are many examples in biology to take inspiration for biomedical robots. For example, we study for a long time the biology, the locomotion, the perception of octopus for developing something like that. So a surgical manipulator with the ability to interact with the tissue in a very soft way, so it is intrinsically safe. You have not to take care about the the safety of the device, because it's intrinsically safe, it's intrinsically adaptable, and very good in reaching. And this is something that you can explore alone, exploit alone, or you can use together with more traditional devices. In the second set of movies, there is a traditional robot for surgery. It's a Da Vinci robot, and you can use in combination for increasing the abilities of your tools for surgery. Okay, so I want to close my talk with a couple of grand challenges that we are investigating now in Scuola Sant'Anna. One is the challenge of implantable robots. So we know that nowadays robots are going outside the cage, so they are not working only for industrial automation, but they can work in our cities for urban hygiene. They can be used as exoskeleton, for example, for human augmentation. They can be used as a sort of shuttle inside our body. And even more, they can be also implanted. Already in 2015, in this magazine, IEEE Spectrum, they listed the 8 must-have implants for the cyber patient, already 10 years ago. On the other hand, to develop implantable robots is a very challenging task in terms of science and technology behind, because you have to take care about biocompatibility, reliability, sealing, miniaturization, in combination with all the other more traditional technological problem behind robotics, that is powering and energy, or security, or interface, and so on. On the other hand, you have to think big and to start from from small things, but having this, let's say, direction in mind. And in fact, we have developed some, for example, sensorized artificial bladder, like this one, that is a sort of bag that you can sensorize to restore the feeling, the sensation of feeling inside the bladder. For example, for people with injuries at the spinal level. Or an artificial solution for sphincter, for urinary sphincter, that you can activate by magnetic solution inside the body for people with urinary incontinence. Or some pump for insulin delivery that can be refilled by using a sort of pill with a cargo of insulin that can be swallowed and can refill the prosthesis if you need to refill it, and overcoming the problems of shortage of drug. That is the main problem of implantable pump nowadays. And another grand challenge, and this is the last one, is the challenge of miniature robots navigating the body. So we have seen some example of peel or endoscope, but how to work across the scale, to develop something very small. And this is a dream also coming from a very famous novel by Isaac Asimov, not only the novel, but the movie. Let's say that also in this case, predicting the future was not easy, and something that is in the novel and the movie is not possible. So in this case, there is an equipe of medical doctors that are miniaturized, put inside the shuttle, and reach in the brain. And this is still not possible, okay? At least in terms of miniaturization of people. But on the other hand, there are, okay, this is the Asimov dream now. So we have not miniature equipe of medical doctor, but there are already on the market some example of machines with a miniature catheter that can be moved inside the brain, up to the brain, by using magnetic forces. And they are something already at the level of innovation and market. Okay, so we have seen some example of grand challenges that are a sort of symptoms for that could be presented as a sort of a direction for our student to think big. And the final slide is about Asimov, so I would like to conclude with what would we like to achieve by 2035. So Richard Feynman, in a famous speech in Caltech, claimed that there is plenty of room at the bottom. So this is related to microrobotics and to machines moving in the body. I would add that there is plenty of room also in biorobotics. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Arianna, a lot for this inspiring speech. Now the opening ceremony is approaching to its end, so we kindly invite the participants of the Governing Board meeting to go to the Aula Magna Storica for our meeting. The other people, I think students, will continue their meeting in Aula 2. I repeat it for the executive board members or for members who are not attending the governing board, that they can find inside the bag, the orange bag we gave you, a list of things that you can enjoy around Pisa this afternoon and in the following days. I remind you the the dinner tonight. So I think it's all. We can move to the Aula Magna now. Thank you.
Just a small addition, thank you very much. Regarding the dinner, please make sure that you register for dinner, and everybody, including the student council, are invited for dinner in Palazzo Boil. All the instructions are found in the bag. Should you need additional information, we are here. You know where to find us. Thank you.